Hello everyone, this is Bench85. Welcome back to another episode of Farming Simulator 15. And I am busy mowing. That's right, this is the first step to getting hay. Because as you remember, last episode, although unfortunately I had a lot of technical problems when it came to last episode. Oops. Not paying attention to where I'm going. I bought a bunch of equipment so we could get some hay for the cows. So we could start, so we could start getting cows. And the first thing we realized is we need to feed them. And the easiest solution in the beginning is to use hay. Now, I question the fact that there is a whole lot of flowers and stuff in this hay. And actually it's, I guess, considered grass until you actually start working it, but I guess that's technical stuff. I'm used to the real life meanings of things. It's like the fact that, yes, I know I don't have to be lifting up the mower while I'm going back and forth. As far as that goes, I can keep going around in circles, but I don't know, this feels a little more realistic to me. And I am all about realistic. The question is I can't drive straight. So this is the first step. You basically cut down anywhere where the grass is growing up this high. In my case, I have decided, I kind of missed the spot there, that we can't just cut anywhere. I mean, most of this is not technically our property until we buy the field, right? So I've decided that until we get a certain field or two that has some prime location next to it that's got good hay, we must respect our other farmers around us. So the neighbor here has graciously allowed us to use this little pasture area that he's not using right now. But we gotta stay inside the fences, so for now this is where we're gonna do our work. And we are almost done. If you guys want to really get a lot of mowing done, what you do is you get the other mower. It's basically like a gull-wing design almost, where it goes on the back of the tractor, and it has a mower about, I think about this size on each side of it. So then you use it in conjunction with this mower and you can basically cut like 3 times the width as you would with just this one right here. So if you want to get a lot of mowing done, that's the way to go, but we just do not have the money or the necessity to get something like that, because we're not mowing a really big piece of land here. We're just cutting this little area here. This should be our last pass. And there we go. And I'm actually going to leave the equipment here for now. I'm just going to go ahead and use the next piece of equipment right away. Now this is what's known as a tedder. And normally tedders are used in cases like right now you see how it's pretty much no gap. Like there's little gaps in between, but for the most part there isn't much of a gap if you ask me. And it's used to move windrows and spread them out so that they can dry better. In this game, however, it is used to turn grass into hay, because you can use grass for other things. Oh, I'm gonna be too close. Sorry, fence. Sorry, fence. Oh, and then we're spreading it outside. Wonderful. Just what I wanted to do. You can use grass for other products. If you want to bale this though, you have to use the tedder. Like so. And you can see it just instantly changes the color of it, turns it into hay. And somebody's not watching where they're driving. So when it comes to hay, this is an important step. This will be much nicer when we have our own field that we're doing this on, that doesn't have fences on the outside. But until then, this is what we are forced to use. And we're only going to do this when we need the hay, I think. Although I guess it grows faster than normal crops do. So now we got an outside path here. We can just kind of keep going back and forth here. We'll work up the entire field. Until you get someone who can't drive again. I think I got it all. I'm gonna miss some here if I'm not careful. Or can I turn straight around? No. I'm always gonna leave a bit of a path, so. Means we're gonna have to do it a little bit differently. So here's the thing. In this game, as soon as I turn it to hay like this, it can be baled up into hay bales. For me, that's a little unrealistic. I mean, come on now. You expect one machine to just dry it instantly? No. And like for us on our farm, we don't even use a tedder because we don't have a need for it. We've got a small disc combine that we use, probably about the size of that machine there, although it's a pull behind, not a mounted front type. And it cuts off to the side so that you don't run over what you are cutting, you know, because that's just going to knock it down and then it's not going to cut very well. So for gameplay purposes, so that I feel better about it, I turned too short. Oh, I missed it. I missed it. I am not a very good driver. Apparently. We're gonna wait till the following day before we bale it. So I'm gonna get this stuff done. And I'll probably go and get my crops planted. Get those ready to go for another harvest. I'm used to this thing, or I'm thinking this thing's gonna drop like immediately, but it takes a little while to get into the ground. And we'll have to come back tomorrow, and we'll use the windrower, and we'll put it into rows, because right now this is gonna be a pain to bale, because you have no rows. And somebody is not very capable of driving again. Who would have guessed? Oh, it's a little too wide there. It's okay, we'll back up and grab it. I do like the animation of it. It looks pretty good, and that's basically what a tedder would do. Alright, so we got that all done. Fold it up, and I'm going to park it here, because like I said, we can keep it here. So I'm going to head back. This tractor for now is mostly going to be used for cow work, at least for now. Although in harvesting, this tractor is ideal to use for running the loads, just because it's a little more horsepower, so it runs a little better. But ideally, we'd like a bigger tractor for that, and we'd like to keep this tractor down here. And our next piece of equipment is right around the corner here. But we will talk about that when tomorrow comes. So let me get the planting in, and I'll meet you guys back at the field when it's time for the next step. Alright guys, welcome back. It's the next day, and I already see a problem. Excuse me. I already see a problem with waiting for the next day. And it started growing up inside of itself. Wonderful. So this is going to be interesting with the fence. I don't know if I've ever done this inside of a fence before. So we'll drop that and we'll get her started. Let's try not to hit the fence too much. So in-game, this is considered a windrower. In my eyes, it's a rake. Although generally what people use for a rake, at least smaller farms and stuff like that, it's only one of the spinning discs. And the sole purpose is basically to turn the hay over. You know, flip it over. So like if you have your windrow laying out, it dries the top obviously. Oh, we were going downhill and that was the problem. So the top will dry off, but you need to get the bottom dry too in order to bale. Because you need it to dry all the way through, otherwise it's going to spoil inside of the bales. So what you do is use the rake and basically it tips the hay over to allow it to dry on the other side. Now this guy would be used for a bigger farm generally, especially if you're using it with a tedder, which we did. And mostly used, I would think, for combining rows together. So apparently the bottom of it, or the back side of the discs part, no, it did there. I don't know. Some of this does not work quite to real life. But anyways, we are putting it together into a nice row. It actually looks like it's knocking out the little grass things that are growing too, which is interesting. Let's back up a touch. Oh boy. I'm still not used to the whole tractor rolling forward type deal that happens now. It is definitely different. Don't get me wrong, I do like it. It feels much more realistic. And this would probably be easier if I was using like a cruise control type thing. Or I suppose if you're using like a steering wheel type for racing games, things like that, where you could use the accelerator a little more. A little easier. Because I'm just basically depending on a forward arrow to do this. And even if we miss little spots, we'll just come back with the baler and we'll grab it. And yes, I will show you guys baling this time around, since I was obviously not nice enough to show it to you guys the last episode when we baled all that straw. Oh wait, it wasn't me, it was the game. That's right. I tried to show you guys, but yeah. Nothing wanted to work right. It was quite the frustrating recording session, I'll tell you that much. Oops, I must have double pressed it. Still not to my liking. I think I'll leave a little bit along there for the baler to pick up as it comes back. And a little row in a couple places. And there we go, we got that part done. Let's not run into the fence there. And now we're gonna head back home. I need the baler. So after getting everything planted, I want to take this road. After getting everything planted, I came to realize just how slow the dirt accumulates when you put it on slow. And I think it's just about right. So I went through and planted all 4 fields. And I started with a tractor that was washed completely. And the drill was not washed completely. It started raining and I thought the rain was going to wash it off immediately. So I just stopped cleaning it. Well, it only partially cleaned it off like I had mentioned before. So I think it worked out pretty good. So let's see, we got stuff growing. Right here's the baler. Well, here, let's get out and look. This is what planting 4 fields. So 29, 24, 25, and 38. That's how much it got dirty. Tractor. You know what? That's not bad. Because it would be this dirty after finishing 1 field before. So this one has not been washed in a while, so we're just not going to look at how dirty this is because yeah, we're just not going to discuss that. So let's head down. One thing I did mention, or I was going to mention last time, is that this tractor does have enough horsepower for it. I think it states it right in here. Baling technology requires 90 or 122 horsepower, and I know for a fact that this tractor is a 160 horsepower. However, it does struggle in the hills. So when we get the chance to upgrade to I don't know if I'm going to get the next size New Holland tractor like this, or if I'm going to get the Case IH version. But either way, actually it'll probably be the New Holland because I'll be able to put the bigger mower on the New Holland one. You see I let off, and it coasts for quite a while. But yeah, that tractor I think is 300 horse. Oh, it'll do so much better when it comes to working with hills like this. So basically, you gotta press X to unfold your baler. And then it's just a matter of lowering the pickup and turning it on. And now the tractor is hardly gonna want to move. So what I'll do is I'll turn it off and then turn it back on. Let it start going again. Now you'll notice that the color of the bale inside changed color. If there's anything left of a bale inside the baler, it will change to whatever crop you're actually baling. It's just how the game code works. It was how they worked around it. And boy, do we get to go slow here. All of 3 miles per hour. It'll probably slow down to 2 as we start going up this hill, right? Oh, it wants to. It totally wants to. So that's 1 bale right there. Just tied it. Now it's going on to the next bale. Now unfortunately, and I noticed that one thing I wish they would have animated, I don't know if you can see right above the back wheels there, you see that hook-like thing through that opening? Those are the needles, and that's where the twine is attached to. And whenever a bale gets completed, as far as how long the bale is supposed to be, those tines have to come up and pull the twine up to the top of the bale so that the tires can grab it and tie it. Now we're going to start cruising because we're going to go down the hill. This is how baling should be. That's how it is if you have... Oh wow. thing really pushed me. If you have a proper horsepower tractor, or at least one that likes baling. But yeah, those tines will come up and then it'll tide bale. And it does it completely in stroke. The baler never falters, it never slows down, it just keeps on going, and the tines come up in between the plunger strokes. It's actually really fascinating to watch it happen. We'll turn the baler off again to get a little bit of a head of steam coming up this hill. It'll slow back down, but at least it helps a little bit. So I'm going to continue doing this, and I'll go grab the bale grabber, or the bale stacker, and be back with you guys. There's the bale getting dropped, when I'm done with that. So meet you in a little bit. Alright guys, one thing I am going to mention. I am done now. I've got one bale up there, two down here. You'll notice that the option to fold the baler back up is not available. And that is because you'll notice that it says to unload it. So what it's going to do is it's going to spit out any bale that might be in the way, and that'll let you fold it up. As you can see, we were not far away from getting 5 bales. Turn our beacons on. Even the baler's got a beacon. I am so in love with beacon. Not bacon. Beacons. So what we're going to do, we're going to park this guy. We're going to go over here. And we are going to grab our bale stacker. That's what you want to call it. Almost. Got it. Now this is a little heavy for this tractor as well, but it'll have to do for now. Like I said, we're going to have to get a bigger tractor for this at some point, and we're going to need it for other reasons too, so bigger tractor is always going to be a plus as we get into the bigger equipment. Actually, this is pulling this pretty good, but then again, it's empty. So to make this work, you want to press B to get into operating position. And then you're just going to drive alongside it, and it's going to grab it. Before anybody asks, yes, you can grab straw bales and hay bales together. Keeps track of them. I love how it folds them up now. Oop. And yes, you can hit them from the side. Yeah. Doesn't look the greatest, but it can be done. And we'll grab this guy. Press B. Put it back up into transport position. It's only 4 bales, but well, it's 4 more than we had. And then beacon's back on. We can turn our flashers on. Yep, it is on the trailer. Excuse me while I pass, because you, mister, are going quite slow, and I just about broadsided you. Apologize for that. Take a right turn here. Yeah, there's some weight here. I'll tell you that much. So, how to use this? Number 1, don't do like I did, and don't knock your bales over. So the biggest thing I can tell you guys is whenever you go to unload these bales, let me turn this stuff off so it's not clicking still. Oops, wrong way. Just to make sure your tractor and trailer are pretty well straight, because you don't want them turning as you pull out. That would be why those bales are tipped over. So what we're going to want to do is press O to unload bales. It's going to go through its thing, and it doesn't matter how many bales you have in here, it will work regardless. In this case, there's only 4 bales. It does 16 total. So now it's going to tip these up. And now it's going to give you a choice. And actually, yeah, you can move them around at this point too. But whenever you think you got it right, you press O to unload, and it lets them go. Or you could have pressed X. Oh, see? I'm turning. I still messed him up. So now we'll fold this back. We're going to leave it here. And we need our front end loader. Make sure it's got the bale spike on, which it does. Of course I knew that because, well, I just taken it off. So we are going to grab one of our hay bales here. And we are going to stick it into here because, well, I think we need to mix it in order to get this to work. I think you just got to get it close enough and drop it in. And it takes it, or... There we go. Now it's doing some mixing. Let's see how much we got in there. We've got a 100% hay mixture, and we've got 4,000, which is exactly what one bale is. So, for now, this is all we have to feed them. I suppose we could do... I don't know, I don't think we can do a mixed ration with straw without having the silage in there too. Oh man. I don't know if you guys could hear that, but I heard it was the cows munching. Yeah, it sounded like a creeper to me. Isn't that ridiculous? So we're going to press Q and it's going to fill it into there. So now if we go under I and go to our animals, you will see that we have 5% productivity. And we have some milk in the tank. 5%, that's not very good. But that's because they're just on hay. And as good as hay is, they need other nutrients. So we need to be able to get a mixed ration. And you'll see that it shows a mixed ration up there. Ideally you want like a 50-50 or of hay and silage with a little bit of straw mixed into it. Well, we have straw and we have hay here now. We're just missing the silage. And that's something we need to work towards. In fact, our next harvest and our next video episode should have enough money to get something so we can get silage. Now this bale is going to freak out in here a little bit. I'll press X. Just because of the shape of it, I guess. But that's okay. So basically what we're going to do in here is we're going to drive in here. And we're going to press Q. And we're going to just start chopping this up. You'll see it's going in as bedding. It doesn't matter if you drive along or not, but I just choosing to. Now here's the thing, if we go here, it should increase the productivity a little bit. It may take a little bit for it to come up, but the straw makes the cows comfortable, and so you'll get more productivity out of them. Now I think you can put like 3 bales worth in there at one time. Oops. That's a little bit of straw. The other thing that's going to happen is by putting straw in there, you're going to allow for manure. There's a little tiny bit of it. Solid manure to be put in. So we're going to have a manure spreader. And you'll see here is the slurry tank. There's slurry manure here. That can be used as well. Both of those can be put on the fields instead of fertilizer, and they're free. You don't have to pay for them. So that's the benefit of them. So with that, guys, I guess we got the basics of, here we go, 44% now. And you'll notice that we had 4,000. This is being used. The straw is being used. But here's the big thing. We're making milk. 44% is not bad. And that milk will get sold at the end of the day. So when it turns over at midnight, overnight, you'll get your milk income. So, let's see. I'll go under here. I don't know. I was trying to remember if you could see if it was listed under harvest income or if it was listed under other. I'm not sure. But anyways, some of this money here, we want to start repaying this loan so that we're not paying in loan interest, although it's not that much, but still would be beneficial. What else do we have there? Oh, total gains and losses. Gotcha. With that, guys, I think it is time for me to say goodbye for this episode. So next time we're going to try and see if we can get this productivity up to 100% for these cows. And probably do some silage work, which means we're going to have to get some new equipment. So we'll see what I can get on this next harvest here. In fact, I'm going to need this back home. Because you'll see here, we have stuff growing. So we're almost there. In fact, I can check and see where are we on growth. We are on the final stage growth. You'll also see here that the grass is growing. So when this turns green, ready to harvest, it means that I can come in and cut this again. In fact, all of this green here is technically grass that's waiting to be cut. But it's not ours. So we can't touch this. And the way I look at this, we could not cut this meadow here. You notice that was in front of this little area unless we bought 36. I think that's a fair trade-off. Ideally, what I've considered doing in the past is buying 41 and turning it into grass so you can bale it and take it over here. There's a big area here too. I wonder if there's any trees in there. Otherwise we might consider, I mean, this is, I'm curious now. This area right here, how decent is it? It's quite hilly. Got some trees in it. Maybe at some point we should consider taking those trees out and using this as our hayfield. I don't know. It's technically what I consider part of the farm, so I see no problem in doing it. We do have a fence, but no big deal. These are not normal trees. These would be trees that are going to be a little bit of work to clean up. So it'll take some time. With that, guys, I am done with this episode. Like I said, I gotta go take off and harvest. So thanks for watching, and as always, take it easy. Begins.